Hi, if you're watching this from the Untitled channel or from zero, skip ahead, go to the video. But if you're watching this from the 360-degree marketing show, hi, it's been a while since I've made my last episode, but I wanted to just hop on here to add a quick announcement that I'm actually moving the 360-degree marketing show into the From Zero podcast, which is basically like I'm going to focus a lot more marketing content on pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B based marketing, predominantly because I'm more excited and interested to see what happens in that space. With that being said, of course, I'll still have a lot more corporate and like more Series C and beyond conversations there, but predominantly it's going to be around this one. The fact that you're watching this on the 360-degree marketing show means I'll still be posting a lot more marketing content here from the From Zero podcast. But if you want to see the entire journey and all the stuff that I'm creating on From Zero, make sure to subscribe to the other channel, or you can listen to it on From Zero on Spotify, or anywhere else that you like to listen to podcasts. The 360-degree marketing show means a lot to me. This does not mean goodbye forever. It just means that I'm pivoting and it's a new season and I'm excited about what's coming. So make sure to say subscribe and make sure to share with someone who might benefit from this. Now let's get into the video. Hello and welcome back. Today I actually want to do like a vlog style video, but it's not really a vlog because I'm not going to move from this place. It's currently 3:45 a.m. But as you can see from the title, it's just like an update on what has been happening for the past 3 months. It is 3:45 a.m. and I actually am supposed to be filming right now, but I'm super like behind on my building stuff. I'll talk more about what has been happening for the past 3 months and then you'll understand where I'm currently at. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm actually also coding on the side. So I'm like going to talk things through, and if you want, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and then we'll just jam. So it has been about 3 months since I first posted on, I think Instagram was my first place where I first started talking about building this. And I think it was like November 4th or something in 2025. So if you're completely new to this channel and you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Anusha Kanan. I'm actually building the anti-LinkedIn for early careers. And I've just gotten started a few months ago. The story is basically that, like everyone else, I applied to jobs and I got a lot of auto rejections. I've been building my personal brand on LinkedIn for the last couple of years, but I did see some gaps that I didn't see anyone talking about. And I saw some pain points that a lot of people were talking about, but then there was no really like a solution for that. I am a marketer by profession, but I also have a technical background. I wouldn't say that I'm a developer or software engineer by any shape or form. I'm not. But I just wanted to kind of build something. I'm a team of one for now. And yeah, I'm just like super early stages. And my goal is basically to make it, not make you feel like you're invisible on a platform that is filled with like thought leaders. I also think it's not a platform problem. It's basically a people problem. So here's how this journey actually started. So I've been building for the past 3 months. I started posting about what I am building, I think in November 2025. It has been 3 months since I first posted a video on Instagram. And yeah, it was like pretty cool. I don't really post on Instagram a lot. So I was like, I want to test it out. And then I moved to YouTube. I was like, I need to make more long form content on this and kind of like document the whole build in public thing. But I think I really got confused with what building in public actually is, because I think my first video was about what I'm building that I needed 3 years ago or something like that, which was, I think, about 2.5, 3 months ago. And when I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, I was just identifying the problem and like talking about who I want to build this for, thinking through what I want this to be. But I think building in public is also kind of like talking about like this, like, hey, this happened and this is the story. Let me know if you have any tips or tricks, or if you feel like you can resonate, or like just, I don't know, just maybe you just want to watch. I don't know. So I think that is what build in public should actually be, but I've definitely been learning that. I want to first talk about something. So when I first started making content, I kind of talked about recruiting for unofficial board of directors, which is basically where people that can understand what I'm trying to build, but also want to like watch the behind the scenes and want to like give feedback on what's supposed to exist and what to remove, and just kind of like being, hey, I think this is going to suck and I don't think people are going to like it kind of a vibe. When I first started that, I was like truly excited because I am building alone. Public feedback is great, but then having like a set of people that are like really committed to opening your emails and reading them every other week is like asking for too much. But then when I saw people actually be open to that, it made a lot of, it took a lot of stress out of my shoulders. So it was really fun to see that. I had initially planned to launch on January 14th, 2026, but two things happened there. First, I want to talk about the positioning mistake that I made that almost like derailed everything. So when I first set up the landing page of Gen Yoda, I had this idea like I'm going to just do a small beta, I'll call it cohort 1 and only invite 10 people and make it very exclusive, basically like handpick users and get deep feedback and just iterate quickly. As smart as it sounded, I've read about like companies doing this, I've seen them nail this. They've started small, they've nailed experience, and then they've been able to scale. And because of that, I built this whole like website around that. I think the website still exists. I can actually put a screenshot up here. You might be able to see the screenshot of it. And it's really funny because people like started signing up and I had like all of my tracking stuff ready, like my UTM medium source ready. But it was a lot and then I got people signing up. I got around 40 people on my email list, and between the cohort signups and the unofficial board director signups, I felt like I'd created this confusion for myself because now I was like, am I going to give access to only the cohort users or am I going to give access to the unofficial board of directors? Because at the time, some people were already on the unofficial board of directors, and asking them to go sign up for the cohort one just felt like a lot of work. One of the first things that I think there's even a LinkedIn post by Moa on LinkedIn where I've talked about inertia. Like one of the first things that people will completely hesitate to do is, let's say, for example, when Notion started, asking them to move from Google Docs to Notion, if their team already lives there or if they're so used to it, like it's literally their open, when I open my search engine, like just default, they open it. If that is the option they have, they're not going to use Notion. So you're going to have to make it feel like, okay, I'm going to integrate Docs into Notion so they don't really have to like do anything extra. They're not going to copy paste something new. Similarly, for this one, I can't expect people to go from being an official director and then going into cohort 1 and signing up for that. Like they have a lot of things to do with their time. It's, it's a blessing that they even want to like know what I'm doing. So I was like, this is stupid. The messaging is all over the place. Like I have to ask people to fill out twice the time. And it's just like one of the major mistakes, the friction that really costs a lot of like very, very early stage startups to die. And I made the mistake, even though I knew that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this call. Screw the cohort model. Everyone who signed up, like everyone that's on the unofficial board of directors who have 0 to 7 years of experience is going to get access. So I was honestly like very originally scared to do this because what if they have a bad experience if there are 40 people who actually like try to use the app? Because I was vibe coding this whole thing. And I was like, what if it breaks? And what if there's like leak it somewhere of like data? That was a confusion. And then I was like, you know what? It's going to break anyways. That is what minimum viable products are supposed to be about. Like you're supposed to create the least fanciest version of your whatever it is you're trying to build, just to be like, hey, this is what I think is going to change the game for you. Do you also feel the same way? And asking them for feedback. So it's not about like how fancy it looks, or it's just not about that, unless like that's your value prop itself. And I don't think that's a value prop. Like fancier is not a value prop. I don't know. So I decided that I would rather have 40 people give me like feedback than having 10 people who feel like it's perfect. They don't find any mistakes, but then when the 11th person signs up, it like breaks everywhere. I just didn't want that. I was like, it's fine. So yeah, that's the new plan. Like my, users feedback and like real experience is more important than soothing my ego. And yeah, just like, hey, this is what's up and tell me what you think and tell me where this sucks and tell me what you think is amazing and tell me what you need and what's not here. So that is what I realized. So if you're like trying to build something and you're thinking about the positioning and the messaging and like the segmenting, I think as a marketer, we're always like focusing on how do we segment things and like have squeaky clean data so we can think about attribution and then think about, where did this person come from? How did they find us? How do we know they went from here to there? But I think if you're like building a minimum viable product, I don't think that is what you should be focused too much on. Like definitely know where they found you and like the attribution stuff, like know a little bit of it. But then I don't know if it's because I'm a marketer that I put too much pressure into it. I was like literally thinking about the customer journey the entire time when I should have been thinking about the user flow. Like, hey, if someone logs in, will they be able to access their own goddamn profile? So that was interesting, just to kind of like switch between my developer hat and my marketer hat and the founder hat. It was a good experience. So a minute ago, I was talking about vibe coding, and I think this is where it just really, really, really gets messy. You see, I have a technical background. Okay. I did my bachelor's in IT. I'm actually supposed to be a software engineer, but I'm not. And I've never like practiced, being a developer or built anything that a software engineer would do. There's a fly here. And I was really confused as to how to actually do this because I wasn't thinking about hiring someone, and then vibe coding came into existence and saved my life. And I started vibe coding. I actually started with Supabase. I actually sat down to create like my database on Supabase in June 2025. And then it just kind of got messy with it because I was like focusing too much on a lot of different things that I didn't really understand. So then I was like, let me try vibe coding. And then I went to Base 44, started building the whole thing there. And it was really interesting for me. Like it actually worked in a lot of ways. It actually worked. And I really liked the user interface and the way things were just working. I was just basically prompting, like I literally had the entire thing. There are screenshots of it on website. You can see like parts of the platform on the website, on the product page. I built all of that on vibe coding. But what happened was very close to the launch, which was supposed to happen on January 14, 2026. I was looking at my screen for like 3 to 4 hours straight, and my eyes started hurting. And usually my laptop's on dark mode, and people who have their laptop on dark mode would understand this. It like started hurting my eyes. So I was like, oh, I don't want my users to feel this way. So I tried to add a dark mode. I should have known better because I read this article. I don't know who the father of dark mode is, like who actually first came up with it. But that person was basically talking about how the first time they tried to implement it, it was really hard because of like, you have to literally change a lot of things around, right? And I wish I had read that before I tried this, because when I tried this, everything broke. Like I couldn't even access my own profile as a user. I was like, this is not how it's going to be. And I didn't revert it. Instead, I just kept going down and down and down. I was like going too deep into it and tried to build more. I was like, I can just change the colors manually. So I said like, hey, change this component's color, just do this element's color. And it just completely broke everything. So that was a lesson well learned, that if you feel like the major part of your whatever it is you're trying to build, if the major part, like the one thing that users definitely have to use is working, don't try to touch and don't try to make everything better. I really wish someone told me this and no one did. And also like on another note, what this did was, for some reason, it messed with all of my row level security, like RLS for some reason. And I could literally not even see messages being sent from one user to another. Like as user A, if I was sending to user B, I had two testing profiles, and I was sending from user A to user B, testing profile A to testing profile B. And I couldn't even read my own messages. I was like, RLS is literally blocking messages between two users, and I have no idea how that happened. And I couldn't fix it. So I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I spent days trying to fix it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to go to my GitHub. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to that. So I was literally like, I don't want to do this anymore. I am going to just export all of this into GitHub, just not subscribe to Base 44 anymore. Just keep it for the time being in case I want to go back. I basically just moved everything from there to Supabase, and I'm just like building the whole thing from scratch on Supabase. But it's easier now because I know exactly what I want, and I know the user flow. I've done the user flow so many times that I literally know what steps to have and what not to have. The first time around, prompting was really difficult because I didn't really think about everything. Even though I had like a wireframe ready, I just didn't think too much about the technicalities that would go into it. Like, oh, there's a close friends option on this app. If I want someone to choose their close friends, where do I keep the option for them to choose their close friends? If I want them, do I keep like a cover photo option? Like they'll update their cover image on their profile. This was all a lot to think about. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if this is how minimum viable products are supposed to work. Like you only need to have one thing that is like the special thing about your platform on it. Or is it supposed to be about like give them as much as a standard experience with the additional add-on, with the add-on embedded into it? Because for me, when I started thinking about if I were to test out a new platform, I would still want some familiarity with it, right? I don't want to just completely go into something brand new and try to use it. So yeah, that was my thing. And yeah, now I'm back to just building on. Give me a sec. Okay, currently all of my deployments are failing. That's because I don't have everything in there. So yeah, dude. So right now, for the past 3-4 days, it has been quite the journey moving everything from base 44 to super base. And it doesn't help that the GitHub files are like completely like encoded and has like a lot of base 44 signature in it. So I have to like think about, okay, what do I want and how do I actually want to build this? And what do I want the users to really, really like and not feel like it's a lot of friction for them? Okay, my deployments are failing because I don't have all the files. Totally fine. So the one thing that's really been on my mind, if you have not watched my anti-LinkedIn platform, that was like, there was a company called Polywork that, I think they raised about $45 million to create an anti-LinkedIn a couple years ago. And one of the major reasons that didn't work was because of cold start. And I can't help but keep thinking about that because there's no guarantee that that wouldn't be the case on this platform. And I think Genyoda works best when there are people actually like actively on there. And it's like the chicken and the egg problem. But if no one's really there, it's a classic cold start problem, right? Like if you don't know someone on the platform, you're not going to join it. So my approach right now is basically just like threefold. I'm going to start with the 40 people that I already know and are like interested in trying the platform. I'll ask them for their feedback if they're signing up, and then see like what's the value add, what's the value prop here, and what is not working for you. And then two, I'm like obviously documenting the journey. The right people have actually found me through it. It's really surprising to me because I always talk about how, you don't put a lot of weight into vanity metrics like likes and subscribers, and maybe subscribers is not really vanity, but likes, and predominantly likes. I'm just like not a fan of likes. But the vanity metrics is just not something I'm really invested in. It's about, okay, what did this actually do? Like, what's the end goal and what has this given me? And I'm very, very surprised because with the limited numbers that I obviously am not super 100% consistent with the videos. So with that, I think I've had like a good amount of response from people. Like I've had people, I don't know these people. They're not mutual friends or anything. And they found the platform and they're asking me questions, and I've gotten on calls with some of them. And it's been really interesting to see how content can really like help you connect with people from around the world that you might have otherwise not met. And it's not like they're only around, only for this platform. I can literally have a relationship with these people, even if this doesn't work out. Like I genuinely find that to be super inspiring. And these are people that are like doing different things in life. They're not from, they're not marketers. They're not strictly like engineers. These are like two of my predominant, circles, because that's what I went to school for. And it's also really validating to see like out of my friends circle, like my immediate circle, seeing people be like, yeah, I totally relate to what you're talking about. I've had like people message the company page on LinkedIn and ask me questions like, hey, can I sign up? I really want to like really join. It would feel a little bit fake, to be honest, a little bit just like, you're only being nice to me if it were my friends or people that I know of. They're also super supportive, but there are also people that are on here that are not my friends. And it's a lot. It means a lot to me. So obviously today's Tuesday. I'm going to post this video tomorrow. So the plan right now is to just finish, like have like all the deployment ready, because I'm like literally rewriting everything, and the dog's barking in the background. If you can hear it, I'm so sorry. It's 4 a.m. I'm going to finish all of this, like the deployment stuff. And then tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm going to edit this video in the morning and then spend the afternoon and evening just like building this, migrating, the backend to Supabase and making sure that the authentication works and like testing everything out. Thursday is also going to be super build day. Hopefully I can launch by this week. Like that is there's a hopefully. We're doing it. Okay, we're launching this week. There's just like no other go. And then once I launch it, I will know if people actually want to use it and who uses it. That's kind of scary. Yeah, it's like really scary. But my philosophy on this is like, I could keep building forever. I could wait until the product is like 100% perfect, until I've literally solved every edge case. But I just don't think that's how you learn. That's not how you learn, right? The founders I've studied, they've all launched messy stuff. Like I've actually seen a lot of my favorite founders from the beginning stages, and they've been like, it's been like how I was when I first launched the Marketing Woman podcast. When I listened to my first ever podcast, I feel like, what the hell? Who's this kid? So I feel like it's just like in all of us, we'll launch broken stuff. We'll figure it out by, putting something in front of real people and just seeing what happens. I think one of my favorite inspirations is that Instagram started as a cluttered app and it stripped down to just like one feature. If you think about it, Instagram was just like post photos and then you like and whatever, right? And then it became stories, and then it became so many other things. And now every other week they just keep changing everything on the fucking app. So yeah, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself for a minimum viable product because it's the first time I'm actually building something. I'm predominantly a marketer and I have a systems thinking style, but I just never saw myself actually building something. And I think that is why I put a lot of pressure on myself. If you see like third or fourth times founders, like they would ship an MVP within the week and they'd be able to get it going. But I guess like one of my friends recently told me, you are 100% a marketer because the way your brain works is so into marketing and like the business side of things. And you're not like thinking about things as a developer. I don't know if that's the compliment, but I'll take it because that is like, I really do think you can build anything in life. Like you can literally hire someone. I could literally hire a developer and ask that person to build it and then, have this shipped out a lot earlier. But I think the process of building and the documenting and like I mentioned, like connecting with people through that is what excites me more than just like, oh, I'm building something. I'm going to, go and pitch this to investors. I think it's more about I'm building this. I'm learning a lot about myself as a human being, like what my, limits are and how often do I feel like I need to give up or how often do I talk down to myself and how consistent can I be and what do I actually focus on when I want to focus on one thing and what am I willing to sacrifice for that and how am I going to manage my emotions, my sleep, my health and my family and my relationships. And literally like that has been such a challenge, even though I think when you're really early stages, it's nothing. But I know that when you get deeper into it, it's going to be a lot more different and probably harder than what it already is. So yeah, so I just wanted to film this while I'm like building this. I really like making videos like this. I really like want to do more videos like this. Let me know if you think this is cool or if you want me to only make polished, like sitting down and talking through things that I've already planned and I'm like just getting through to the points. To be honest, I really like love filming stuff like this because I'm like really just talking whatever comes to mind. I'm not scripting anything. I don't have anything scripted and there are no points that I wanted to get through. I just want to talk about these things and in my mind, it's on my mind and I just wanted to sort of share this. So yeah, so I will hopefully be launching this week. So I'll be launching this week. If you have 0 to 7 years of work experience and you want to try the anti-LinkedIn, go ahead and sign up because I will be giving access soon. And if you're not on the list, it might be difficult for me to find you. So please go ahead and get on the list. I really appreciate it. And if you want to like follow along the journey and the wins, the failures, the chaos, and literally everything else, subscribe. I'm going to try and document all of it. Yeah. So also drop a comment and let me know what's something, you're building or you're thinking about building. I want to know, like, talk about whatever it is you're building, you want to build, talk about it in the comments and let me know. And yeah, I'll see you on the other side of launch. I'm nervous, but also pretty excited about this. Yeah, it's 4:13 a.m. I'm going to go drink my cup of coffee, which is cold coffee now. And I'm going to go continue building. Super excited.